All right, this is what we're working on. Oh, this is the liners for this next knife here. Here's the back spring and the bushing. I'm waiting on some nickel silver, so I got 2 pins and then I got a copper one I'm just using to put it together and take it apart. And then here's the blade. So I'm about to grind some bevels in the blade today. And then I need to mill relieve my liners. Oh, and here's the bolsters. Solder the bolsters on is going to be coming up pretty soon. You know, kind of finish the handles. Can't get too far because I'm waiting for that. Waiting for some more of this stuff. Hey, Playtime, thanks for coming in. I don't think I've seen you in here before. What's up, Anarchy? I don't know if you saw. You were watching the other day when I was working on this. Here's how the spring ended up. You can see I did have to take a little bit out of it right there because it was pretty strong. These are my bolsters. Both of them. They're going to be one on each side. And then I'm gonna, we got going on here. Okay, that's the left one. I'll be milling out a little area right here where the tang of the knife will go in so it doesn't rub on it every time. Do it on. See how it gets the rub marks on there? So I'll mill this part out so that it won't get those, or at least not as bad. Yeah, I mean, I got music on a little bit, real quiet. Hopefully y'all can't hear it. Because I don't want to get copyrighted. I don't know that I have a favorite song either. There's a lot of good songs. And then here's my blade. I got me a center line marked on it. I think you can see it. So let's get started. This is a new 60 grit belt. Yeah, or new-ish. I grinded one blade so far on it. And this is heat treated already, so I gotta be careful. Real careful not to get it too hot. Need a bigger bucket. What's your favorite song? Playtime? You're probably gone already, but if you're still here, I feel like that's a hard one to answer. Maybe I can see. Every pass, I'm sticking my hand to it, make sure it doesn't burn my hand. It's really not even warm. I am taking my time in between each little pass. And I do got a fresh belt, which helps a lot, keeping the heat down. Get it down to that center line. You can kind of tell right here, you can see how much I've taken off. And then when I get it down to the center line, I'll start tilting my jig this way a little bit more to walk the bevel up the edge there. guess I wonder, cat's just not going. Alright. What's up, Kaiser? Good to see ya. Hope you're doing good today. Just about to that line. I'm going to start rocking it back a little bit because I will take a little bit more off down there. Good. Yeah, so this is a different folding knife I'm working on. But the one I was working on, I'm keeping. It's in my pocket. And this is the one I was doing. You can tell I've already been using it. I've already been scratching it up and cutting boxes. I was out cutting dirt in the garden today with it. But yeah, it came out nice. I finally got one for myself. And this one here will be pretty similar when I get done. Here's the other parts. So here's the liners, the back spring. These will be the bolsters. And then here's the pins. And I got one copper pin I'm using just to put it together because I'm out of the silver ones. I ordered some. And then here's my little bronze bushing. What's up, D? Thanks for coming in. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I got some other projects to work on too. They're probably more important. Supposed to freeze tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow, and definitely tomorrow night. So I went out to the garden and got the last of the peppers and the watermelon out today. Do you need any supplies that I can help you with? No, I'm good. I just somehow ran out of that stuff. I got everything else. Thank you. They're not even very expensive. It's a couple bucks for a 12-inch piece. You know, you can do a couple, 3-4 knives with that. They come, you know, like a piece like this. This one's brass. Yeah, you should. I know the feeling, Anarchy. You've done the same to me. So. And my brother in the chat there's definitely done it. Yeah, I saw your chickens this morning. Not too long ago, your little baby chickens aren't baby chickens anymore. What's up, Northwoods? Yeah, it shoots a lot of sparks once it's hardened. Northwoods is another one. I was watching him this morning. He was out getting firewood. There's another one. I'm like, I should get off my ass. Yeah, I was watching for a minute. Right on. I don't have a wood stove anymore, so I don't do firewood no more. I do miss my wood stove a little bit. You know, by when it was all I had by like December, you hate that thing, but January. We got electric heat, so I just hate it all the time. I mean, wood heat, like, it's a different thing, man. It's nice. It's also nice to not have to get up and fill the wood stove, too, though. We're almost there. When I was in Montana, I'd burn 10 cords a winter. It'd take me about... I didn't have to go cut down the trees. I usually had rounds or already cut logs that I would get. It'd take me about a week, maybe 5 days to get it all for the year. Alright, I switched to 120. Custom machete. I mean, I can only make so big of a knife because of my oven. I got a small grinder too, but I could work around that. But I can only fit, I don't know how big it is in my oven, but it's not real big. Alright, that was a 240 belt. So there we go. We got like a full, just a little tiny bit. Oh, didn't get up to the top. If you go all the way up, you get like a little step here. When you look down the spine, it looks weird. Now it's just a nice, even. Anyway, I don't know if any of that makes sense. Now I got to flip it over and do it all exactly the same on the other side. So I want to really pay attention to where I put this. I tried to kind of index it in a way that I'd be able to repeat it when I flip it over. Right on. I got a cheap machete over here somewhere, but I don't really use it for anything. I thought about sharpening it. Okay, so this one here I'm putting in from the back side. And I'm just using it. Clean this off. Just using it to, the tip of the knife here will hit down onto it. Just to kind of get it in the same spot. Side to side. Front to back and side to side. For all the new people in here, this is what I'm working on. It's a pocket knife. These are the liners. This is the spring, bolsters. This is the blade. And it'll look something like this when I get all finished. So, oh, this is that's the handle. That's the bone that's going to be on this one. I'm not sure what color this is. It might be green. It's either green or some kind of brownish. We'll find out when I start cutting and sanding it. Two-hander type machetes. Yeah, I'm not sure I completely understand. Pack of 60 grit. And again, this is heat treated already, so I gotta go real slow and take my time. It's also thinner down on the tip now that I ground the other side, so it gets hotter down there even faster. Oh shit, I reached 2K, huh? Well, if he's right, and I have no reason to believe that he isn't, I will be doing a stream here in a day or two where I'll be doing a giveaway. I was gonna give away one. I'm giving away at least one knife. I was contemplating maybe more than one, but yeah, in a day or two here, I'll be doing a 2,000 sub giveaway on a fixed blade, winner's choice. So if you just subbed, hit the bell because it'll be on a horizontal stream, not a vertical stream. So I can use the StreamYard giveaway tool. Yes, you can enter. You have to be 18 and in the US. Unless you're like one or two people that can be in Canada. They know who they are. I was about 20 away when I started. Yeah, there's one of the people that could be in Canada. What's up, Rural? Man, alright, I gotta say one more thing now that you're here. I'm pretty sure it was you that said I was working on the mower, and you said something about the steering wheel not being straight would drive you crazy. Well, thanks, because I never even noticed it, and now it drives me crazy. Pretty sure it was you. I've been waiting to see you to tell you how you did that to me. Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, it's not really his fault, but it is kind of his fault that I noticed. I will say, it don't bug me enough that I'm gonna fix it, but I notice. I didn't get my clamp on in the right place. I'm gonna have to go back to the other side. You can see this one is way further back than the other. Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got none of that here. I don't know. I could mow again, and I might still have to. I probably should have already. I did just cleared out the garden today. I got the last of the bell peppers and some watermelons. I kind of just cool it off with my hand sometimes. Kind of hold my hand on there like a heat sink. Sucks that I have to go back to the other side and try to even that grind up. That's gonna be where I can mess it up. These blades will get a lot of hand sanding before they get put together. So I just need to. That was a 120 belt, and that's probably enough because when I start hand sanding, I will start with 180. But this is a 240. I try to go up a little higher than I'm going to start by hand. Kind of makes it easier. As long as I got the 60 grit out, I'll be okay. I sent a pumpkin on head. Dude, I have no idea what these gift things are. I need to look into it more. But thank you. Alright, so there we are. We got that side up to 240. I gotta flip it back over and go back. You can see it there. See how much further back my little plunge line is on this side versus the other side? And I'll flip it over and try to fix that. Yeah, I don't really know what they are. I know I turned it on. Whatever that means. This is one thing I do struggle with sometimes, is getting the two sides to line up good. I failed on that one. That, I mean, if they're a little bit off, I'll deal with it, but that definitely got to do the other side. I'm just one slip away from I get to keep this one too. The trick here is to not go too far, and then I have to do the other side, and I got to flip it over and do the other side, and then before you know it, you run out of knife. Okay, so I reset everything up, but I moved my clamp back just a tiny bit. Hopefully it's just a tiny bit. I really don't want to grind the whole thing again until I get to the last step, just one or two passes. It's 200. It says 200, whatever that is, on like 200 rubies or something. I'm like Zelda. I need 50 more, and I can buy the blue ring. All right. It ain't perfect, but I think it's going to be close enough. Didn't mean to kick the camera there. Yeah, I just went too far back on the other side now. Man, I might have to put it back on there again. Hey, looks real nice. Looks even worse on the camera because I can zoom right in real good. Yeah, it's not much, but it's enough that I can tell. I'm gonna run out of space for my maker's mark. It's hard to tell because it doesn't actually go right up to the edge of where you put your clamp. So you got to kind of really, there's like some guesswork to it. I need a better clamping setup, no doubt, to repeat this side to side. Yeah, the thing is, from the very first second that you start it, you're committed. Once you touch that edge, yeah, there ain't really no undoing it. I've done it just like freehand with no clamp too, just eyeballing it, and I can get it pretty good that way too, but one little lapse of paying attention and you screw it up. Alright, let's give this one more shot. Oh my god, I went too far again. Alright, well, it is what it is. That's alright. Right on. I'm sure she could do that easily, but I get it. Oh, really? That's crazy. A little bump in there is bugging me, but I don't want to go at it too much. I'll get that hand sanded. Yeah, it's dumb. I mean... It's almost like you wouldn't, you don't want people to move to your state. You make it that dang hard to get a job. Looks like I've about bored everyone. I am going to try to get this evened up one more time, and then I'm probably going to call it on the stream and go work on something else I got to do. Alright. If this was a fixed blade, I'd be in trouble. The blade's getting pretty thin, but being a pocket knife, they they have pretty thin blades, so it's not a big deal. But if it was a fixed blade, I probably would have ruined it by now. marker on here. Have to go back outside. I'm sorry. I gotta go out back outside too when I'm done. It's getting warm in here. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Cheryl, but thanks for coming in. Damn, I done bored everybody to death. I saw one of them machines like you got, Anarchy, on Marketplace. They wanted 75 bucks for it. The chat is on the screen for some reason. Oh. Yeah, that's the vertical thing, I think is why it does that. I'm going back to the other side again. Man, this thing is... It is what it is. I'm not sure what we're noticing here. The chat? Yeah, I wish I had a sewing machine. I mean, it might look different for you guys or something. Everything looks the same to me. I wish I had a machine. It takes me forever to sew stuff. Okay, I finally got it. It ain't perfect, but it's fucking way closer. I was trying not to cuss, but that didn't happen either. It's a little thin on the edge, so I'm gonna take just a little bit of the edge off. So thicken it back up just a little bit. Kind of changes the shape of the blade a little bit too, but that's why they don't ever look exactly like the pattern. I always make little changes along the way, little happy accidents. So I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's pretty thin down here. So I'm going to take just a little bit out of here and it'll thicken it up. But this part down here, and I can't touch anything from that nub backwards or I'll screw everything up. So I can only do just a little bit there. It shouldn't take much. I want to make sure to hold it real nice and flat. That's pretty good. All right. So that's, well, it's not quite ready for hand sanding. I still got to cut the nail nick. The little, I still got to cut a nail nick in it like that, and then I'll have to put the logo on it. I will do most of the hand sanding before I do the logo, but the nail nick I could do now. But I think for now I go on to these liners. I think I'll work on these next. And then once I got these almost completely finished, I'll do all the hand sanding and nail nick and stuff on this. And then I'll get them all completely finished and polished up and looking good. And then I'll put the whole thing together. So I mean, there is some truth to that. It's like imperfectly perfect. But here, we'll put this together, see it work, and so I can show you guys what it looks gonna look like put together, and also so I can test it. I haven't. It's gonna work better now because when it slides around into the liners, it's beveled, and the edges of the bevel aren't rubbing on the liners. So it should actually work better now. Probably gonna have to print a. I've been planning on doing this for my slip joints. I'm probably gonna have to make a smaller logo to fit on there if I want it to fit right here. I don't know. My standard one might fit, but I was thinking of doing a new one anyway. So there she is. Where's my bolsters? Probably start working on these next. These will. That's the wrong side. That's that side. Those will go on there. Of course, they got a lot of shaping to get done to them. So yeah, these get soldered on. I'm gonna do that in a live stream because it's kind of fun. I'll solder the bolsters on the liners. I'm gonna mill my liners. Somewhere I got the one I messed up on the last knife. see here now, like last time I was working on this, on the rise and fall they call it, so my spring is right flush with my liners, and then in the half stop, the spring is flush with the liners, and then closed, spring is flush with the liners, so like perfectly, won't catch a nail. That's why I had the dial indicator out. So, but yeah, it's coming along pretty good. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice, thin, sharp knife. A little thick on the spine still. The last one I did was a thinner stock, but anyway, I've been on here almost 2 hours, so we got that blade ground. Looks good. It's almost perfectly perfect. I don't know. I might work on this some more before I go live next time, but if I don't, it'll be work on these liners next. So, show y'all. I made a video showing this, but let's see. This one's off. This is what I want to do to the liner. I want to mill out this little area here, and then that way the tang, this needs to come back further, but the tang won't rub on the brass, and then my bushing will sit right here where it's not milled out, and keep everything straight. And you're almost like milling an integral, whatever that word is, washer on there. So the problem I had was I had this little plate I used on my rotary table, and you hang around on that brass too long with the end mill and it got hot and melted, and then that's what it did. It sunk down the brass and tore it all up. So I made this new one out of aluminum. It's got a little hold down here. You put your, here, we'll grab a, well, I can't grab a liner because they're on the knife. Where's them old ones? It goes like, put your liner in here, and then this little pin. Oh, these are super glued together. My pin won't go through there because they're super glue in there. Anyway, yeah, you put this in here. You put this pin through there, which is right in the center. You clamp this down. Throw an end mill in here, and then just spin her around. Looks like I'm gonna have to mill the edge of this clamp a little still, but it might just happen. So yeah, that'll be the next step. No, I don't want to lose this. Alright, anyway, y'all have a good day. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. We'll work on this some more. So, y'all got to go back outside. or inside or whatever. Just can't stay here. Have a good one. If I can figure out how to hit the X. There we go.